CBBC is UK's national business network promoting trade and investment in China. We have been at the heart of UK-China relationship for 66 years, and we're widely recognized as the independent voice for UK businesses working with China. Our objective is to support the growth of business, trade, and investment with China and Chinese companies, expanding the investment in the UK. As China seeks to upgrade its economy through new engines of growth and innovation and an enabling business environment underpinned by legal and regulatory certainty is paramount to build a dynamic and sustainable economy. CBBC has thus partnered with key stakeholders to improve the business environment in China. We initially launched our IP services in 2014 to support businesses with our IP-related services and protection in China. We have been developing those services in close cooperation with the UK Intellectual Property Office and supported by the British Embassy. Through continuous corporate engagement, when we endeavor to understand and stay up to date with the specific and evolving issues that rights holders face on different platforms. Over the past few years, we have been working with key partners in China and the UK to develop a range of in-house support and functions covering IP consulting, online protection, offline enforcement, cross-border protection. In all those efforts that support rights holders to protect their IP rights in China, in particular through our IP protection accelerator and knowledge sharing services, we have been engaging with many leading Chinese e-commerce, social media, and other digital platforms. Our partnership with JD.com is one great example of our successful collaboration with key stakeholders in this area. CBBC and JD.com has established long-term partnership since 2016. It has provided an effective channel and mechanism for international rights holders to address their IP concerns related to protection, IP protection, and enforcement. Within this framework, we have launched a variety of initiatives, such as 8 IP roundtables that provided direct access and opportunities for companies to discuss specific IP issues with JD.com, and some pilot programs that experiment with solutions that are favorable to IP rights holders. Building on those efforts, we will continue to collaborate and take proactive actions against the emerging IP issues in the context of new technologies and also new business models. We're also very glad to co-host this webinar with China IPR SME Helpdesk, which has been actively supporting European Union small and medium-sized enterprises to both protect and enforce their IP rights in China. With shared objectives and also common interests, we hope to continue work very closely with China IPR SME Helpdesk to better support international rights holders, especially SMEs, in protecting their IPR more effectively in the context of new technologies and new ways of doing businesses. In the presentations later, we will first hear from Mr. Matias, the IP business advisor at China IPR SME Helpdesk. Matias would give an overview on China's e-commerce and IP policy and the role of new technologies in brand protection, the role of new technologies. Later, we will hear from 3 speakers from JD.com. They will introduce how JD.com applies their technology in brand protection and also how they provide all-round retail solutions for international brands. So before they'll reach content sharing, please allow me to invite Ms. Jennifer Cao from China IPR SME Helpdesk to give an opening speech. Let's welcome Ms. Jennifer.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for giving the chance to show you a brief picture about our organization. China IPR SME Helpdesk is a European Union funded project. It's designed to help European SME with intellectual property right issues in mainland China, Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan. The project offers a variety of services that enable EU SME to make informed decisions about IP rights, and all these services are free of charge. We provide our service via inquiry helpline, events, and also we offer business tools and the solutions on the website. The inquiry helpline is for EU SME ask us any IP related question and you will receive reply within 3 working days. So just send us your question to their mailbox. Our help desk also organizes training seminars and live webinars all over China and Europe. We cover various topic range from very basic IP training to tailor-made seminars on a specific issue, just like this time. And normally, we organize these events together with Chamber of Commerce or business associations or cluster organizations and also embassies. So please feel free to contact us about organizing live webinars or the seminars. All these scheduled events, you will find information on IPR website. Besides the event calendar, actually, you will find various resources on IP issue on our website. For example, e-learning modules or podcast or infographic or case studies. Our website also contains a comprehensive library of IP guidelines, which covering all major IP topics consist of trademark, copyright, patent, and trade secret. Besides this, we also offer industry-specific guides, such as IP in Industry 4.0 or IP in ICT industry, as well as the details like how can I record my trademark or my copyright on customer authorities, or how to remove counterfeit from e-commercial platform, etc. So that's all about us. You're always welcome to send your IP inquiry to our mailbox at any time. And next, before I give the floor to the speaker, it's my great honor to introduce him, Mr. Matias Zubimendi. Matias is the IP business advisor at the China IPR SME Helpdesk, and he holds a master degree in Chinese civil and commercial law, plus master degree in intellectual property law. Matias has a strong background in both business development and IP protection, as well as extensive experience in terms of legal affair, patent, and trademark issue. Now, I give the floor to Matias, sharing his knowledge about China e-commerce IP policy and also the role of new technology. Matias, please.
Thank you, Jennifer. Hi, everyone. This is the content of the presentation that we are going to see today. First, I will do an introduction of intellectual property rights. Then we will discuss what are the most relevant intellectual property rights for e-commerce, so a company knows what to pay attention to when deciding to enter the Chinese e-commerce market. Finally, some brief comments about the new e-commerce law that came into effect in 2019. And at the end of the presentation, I will talk a little bit about enforcement and some tips for companies that are having an issue and they want to know what steps to take. But let's begin with a brief introduction of intellectual property rights. When we talk about intellectual property, we are actually talking about patents, utility models, design patents, trademarks, etc. With innovation patents and utility models, what we are protecting is the technology in a product or in a process. Here, what is protected is the innovation, the new aspects of a new technology, that part that overcomes everything that already exists in the state of art. This is all the other technologies known by competitors. In the case of design patents, what we are protecting is not the technology, but the aesthetic aspects of a product. Even though both of them are patents, what is protected in each one of them is totally different. So they have to be, they shouldn't be confused and they have to be considered as different intellectual property rights. In the case of innovation patents, there is also the utility models, which are also called small patents. They also protect the same type of aspect. This is the technology. However, utility models are less strict when analyzed by the China National Intellectual Property Agency. So when protecting a technology, normally what companies do in China is a parallel registration between innovation patents and utility models, because utility models are granted faster and are also cheaper, and also because patents, innovation patents, for registering it takes around 6 years and there is no protection during this period of time. So they use utility models to compensate this lack of protection. In the case of trademark, what is protected is any aspect of a product, any sign that can be used for distinguish your product for the one from your competitors. So it could be the logo, the company name, the product name, the combination of colors, anything that helps your product to be distinguished, that can be registered as a trademark. In the case of copyright, what is being protected is the expression of an idea. It's not the idea itself, but how it was expressed by the artist. It could be a photograph, a draw, a design, a text, anything that it was done by the artist, by the person, can be protected by copyright. In the case of China, also software and databases are protected as copyright. Finally, we have to discuss what trade secrets and know-how are. These are two intellectual property rights that are not registered. They cannot be registered by definition. It's all this knowledge that companies have, but they don't share it with competitors because they know it is valuable. They know that it gives them an advantage. So for being considered a trade secret, this knowledge should be protected with some specific protective measures that can be legal, for example, with the non-disclosure agreements that have to be physical, for example, by sealing a document with a confidential or secret stamp, or for example, with technology, with informative measures. That could be the usage of blockchain, for example, or by restricting the access into a server. Finally, for understanding intellectual property rights, we have to understand two of their principles. The first one is the registration principle. That means that an intellectual property right, in order to be protected, it should be registered with the National Agency of Intellectual Property Rights. This is specifically important in the case of China, because in China there is almost no protection for unregistered intellectual property rights, with the, of course, exception of know-how and trade secrets. However, in Europe, it is more common to see certain levels of protection for the different intellectual property rights, especially for trademarks. However, again, in China, this is not the case, and if there's no registration, there's almost no protection. This is also combined with the second principle that is called territoriality. It means that the registration done within one country, or in one country, the protection will be within the territory of that country. So any registration done in the EU will not grant any protection in China, the same way the registration done in China will not grant any protection in the EU. Remember that in the case of China, we have 4 different jurisdictions for having full protection within the territory. We have mainland China, Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan. So if a full protection is wanted, so for registration should be done in these 4 jurisdictions. But what are the most relevant intellectual property rights for e-commerce? The first one, and I think most obvious, is the case of trademarks. Companies should register their trademarks for having protection in China. They have to register not only the company name, but also the name of the product. This is particularly important in e-commerce because sometimes you will find that some products are offered by random sellers, not sellers that are trying to convince the public or the consumers that is your company. They're simply selling infringed products. In the case of the company name, it is particularly useful for avoiding third parties to present it as if they were your company. So you don't want someone using your name, selling as it was you. So for having full protection, it is useful to register not only the company name, but also the name of the product. The copyrights are also very significant for e-commerce, because first, it is common to see that some logos, some designs that are used as a trademark, they are protected as copyright. Some e-commerce platform request IP certificates when creating users. And one method that bad faith sellers use for overcoming this lack of trademark certificates, because maybe the trademark is already registered, is to use a copyright certification. This way they prove, they give a valid certificate, and they are able of having a user and start selling these counterfeited products. Also, it's important to register as copyright and protect as copyright any picture, photos, text, descriptions that are used when offering the product. It is common to see when a product is offered to see several pictures and even part of a manual, information, description, that these are protected by copyright and included in this offer. So this is another infringement that can be used for take down a bad faith offer. Finally, we have the industrial designs or patent designs for protecting those products. That if your product, the product is offered with this design, it can be taken down. But also maybe it's not one of your products that is using the design, but one of the competitors, or this is simple generic designers that are using one of your designs, and you can take it down as well due to this infringement, the patent design. Finally, companies should be very careful about trade secrets. As we said, trade secret is any sensible information that is secret and has value. And because it's not registered, the protection will last as long as it remains as a secret. So a very common mistake that some companies do is to disclose this sensible information, this confidential information, when offering products. So when your e-commerce team is uploading the information and the offer of a product that contains trade secrets, it is advisable for the intellectual property team to check if the information included there will disclose or not any trade secret. This is also very, very important for trade fairs, because any information disclosed there, it will be done public immediately and protection will be lost. And since a lot of trade fairs are happening online these days, it is very advisable to have a team checking what information it is uploaded. But let's discuss a little bit about this new e-commerce law that came into effect last year, and what are the main updates that were included here. The most significant one is the joint liability between the seller and the e-commerce platform in the case of an infringement. It doesn't mean that the joint liability will be immediately. The law says that when an e-commerce platform knows or should know about an infringement, the e-commerce platform should take all the necessary measures for, and there is a list of verbs that include deletion, blocking, disable the link of termination of the transaction. If they don't perform any of these 4 verbs in a timely way, this is in a very reasonable period of time, then there is joint liability between the e-commerce platform and the seller. Also, the law mentioned that it is mandatory for the e-commerce platform to take all the necessary measures for IP protection. And this translates into these 3 aspects that you see on the screen. The first one is that the e-commerce platform should create its own protection rules. It means that they have to create and cooperate with intellectual property right holders in order to help them to protect their IP. and to make them part of the process of this process of protection. That's why it is very common to see that the e-commerce platforms are developing these new intellectual property rights programs where they keep inform the IP right holders and they let them know what are the steps, how to protect, etc. Finally, in the Article 42 as well as the 43, the law established the notice and take down as a dispute resolution method. It creates very specific rules that it shows a little bit about how the notice and take down process will happen. It says that these two articles says that the intellectual property right holder should be entitled to notify the infringement and to request this measure, the deletion, blocking, disable of the link, or termination of the transaction. It also says that if it is necessary, the IP right holder should include all the evidence that they have in this notification and request. Then the e-commerce platform have to notify in a timely period of time, in a timely manner, the operator, the one that is doing the sale, that is offering the sale. In this case also, the law established that all these malicious requests that they are tended where there is no infraction, where there's only an intention of creating damages, if we are in one of these scenarios, then the IP right holder or the fake IP right holder that simulated having some rights but actually do not have, then that person should pay damages for the losses that caused. When the operator is notified, they also have a period of time for giving their own version of the story, to give them that there is no infringement, and in the case of evidence, to submit the evidence of this statement. When the e-commerce platform receives the notification from the operator, they will notify the intellectual property right holders and give them a period of 15 days for either filing a complaint with the relevant authorities or to start a lawsuit. If during this period of time none of these actions are taken, then the e-commerce platform should stop any measure taken against the operator. Finally, in the Article 44, the law established that any action should be solved timely. This means that in a reasonable period of time. There is no specific period of time established except with these 15 days that I mentioned before. So here we are in a case of what we understand for a reasonable period of time. Finally, this law also came with an increase of penalties in case of an infringement, with fines that will increase up to 2 million renminbi. About enforcement, we have to discuss some tips that are useful for companies. My first advice would be that the most significant part is how to make a good surveillance. This is how to check if there are infringements online or not. It is advisable for companies to do regular control about what is being offered in the platform, who is offering them, and also trying to get information about these offers. Because if we detect that there is an infringement, then this infringement may be happening not only in one platform, but several ones. So it's advisable to check what exact information they use, how they present the products, doing parallel search with these products in other platforms as well. If a company detects an infringement, the first step that they should do, or the second step, the first one will be contacting a lawyer, but the first step the second step should be to collect evidence. Before doing any action, it is advisable to collect as much evidence as possible. First, because the notice and takedown system may request you some evidence. So by then, you need to have it. Second, because this is a very useful source of information about who the seller is. You may detect where is this company based, what are their activity, and because the infringement may be happening, it may be happening in the platform, and also it may be happening outside the platform in real world, you may need or you may use this information for detecting other infringements. Finally, if further actions, for example, if a lawsuit is wanted in a regular court, this evidence will be extremely useful. Regarding how to collect evidence, I would say that the most useful method for doing this is using blockchain technology, because this way you're capable of downloading the entire information, the full information of the website, including what is offered under which conditions, who are presented, how are presented the products. Everything can be collected there. And when it is introduced in a node in a blockchain, then you have a timestamp that cannot be modified online in the blockchain server, and that is acceptable in the so-called internet codes. So now let's see what are the main jurisdictions, or what are the main courts that you can apply for. You can enforce intellectual property rights. The first one is the dispute resolution method. This is the system of notice and takedown that are included and regulated by the e-commerce law and the e-commerce platforms. If you're not satisfied with the results, you can go to regular courts. You can go to people's courts, or you can go to intellectual property courts that you can find in big cities, for example, Beijing and Shanghai. But also, don't forget, please, that there are, since 2019 also, there are this type of courts that are called internet courts that you can find in Beijing, Guangzhou, and Hangzhou, that are extremely efficient. Normally, a case is solved within 25 or 27 days. They have jurisdiction for e-commerce cases, for copyright infringement, and also for domain name disputes. The entire process happens online, so everything is done with your phone. Even the hearings are happening online. And the entire case is solved by artificial intelligence. However, if you're not satisfied or you want to review the final outcome, the final outcome of the case, it can be reviewed by the judge, a human person. So this type of internet courts are having within the time more and more cases. They are becoming actually the rule more than the exception, and considering that are very effective. And if your company collected the evidence, have the intellectual property rights register, then it's the most cost-efficient method for this type of cases. Finally, some tips or some last tips for enforcement and e-commerce in general is register your trademarks in advance before entering the Chinese market, before going to a trade fair, because uploading any product online, register your trademarks, company name and product names. Register your logos as copyright for avoiding having unpleasant surprises with someone that register your logo as copyright and now have some rights, or a method to prove some fake rights, but that they are hard to take down because copyright certificates are very hard to take down with a lawsuit. It could take years, so it's advisable to having your own certificate with a prior date. Third, to use blockchain for saving evidence, because again, internet courts, they use and receive blockchain or any type of digital evidence. So this is the most or the easiest way of collecting all the information and use it online. And finally, use as much as technology as possible for trademark protection, especially for surveillance and control of what is being offered online that can be infringement one of your intellectual property rights. So till here my presentation, and I leave the floor to the next speaker.
Thank you very much, Matias, for your introduction. I trust the basic knowledge will be really useful for those who are still new to e-commerce IP policies, as well as the use of new technologies in this area. Please note that all attendees are muted by default. If you wish to ask any question for the speakers or want to chat with the following speakers, please leave your questions in the Q&A box or the chat box. We'll address all those questions together till the end of the presentation. We have altogether 30 minutes Q&A session, and you can type your questions in advance, and we'll in the following presentations, we'll hear from Ms. Wu Di, the Brand Protection Advisor, and also Ms. Yolanda Ying, the business. Mr. Jiang Lijie, who is the cross-border logistics project. How JD.com has applied technology in better brand protection, as well as provide all-rounded solutions, retail solutions for businesses abroad. Let's welcome Ms. Wu Di.
Thanks, Yuan. Hello, everyone. I'm Wu Di from Brand Protection Department of JD.com. I'm very pleased to have this opportunity to share our practice with you regarding the brand protection by technology. Maybe many people don't know JD very well, so I will introduce the latest situation of JD.com through a short video. So let's show it.
JD.com launched its online business in 2004. Driven by technology, today the e-commerce giant is China's largest retailer, online or offline. It is also the nation's largest retail infrastructure service provider. On May 22, 2014, JD.com became the first major Chinese e-commerce company to list on New York's Nasdaq Stock Exchange. In July 2018, JD.com became the first Chinese internet company to make the Fortune Global 200 list. In 2019, the company recorded full-year net revenues of $82.9 billion. JD.com currently has more than 220,000 full-time employees. JD serves hundreds of millions of families in China and is able to reach more than 1 billion users through its strategic partnership with Tencent. The company meets the diverse demands of its customers across all product categories, including electronics and entertainment, home appliances, fast-moving consumer goods, home and life, fashion, and fresh food. JD.com connects shoppers with hundreds of thousands of high-quality brands from all over the world, with more than 270,000 merchants currently on the platform. JD.com drives real economic transformation through technological innovation, with large volumes of high-value data helping suppliers to drive efficiency. Currently, consumers in more than 200 countries and regions are able to purchase goods on JD.com and enjoy first-rate customer service and delivery. JD Logistics is the only platform in the world to provide small to medium-sized warehousing, oversized warehousing, cross-border cold chain delivery, frozen and chilled warehousing facilities, B2B, and crowdsourcing logistics. JD Logistics operates over 700 warehouses covering an aggregate gross floor area of approximately 16.9 million square meters as of December 31st, 2019. JD Logistics' in-house nationwide delivery network covers 99% of China's population and can deliver over 90% of orders same or next day. JD Logistics is working with partners in all areas of society to build a global smart supply chain network with the mission of reducing logistics costs. It focuses on 3 business areas: supply chain, express delivery, and digitalization of supply chain platforms. Driven by technology, JD Logistics offers comprehensive, high-quality, and cost-effective services, providing trusted, integrated supply chain solutions for customers, industry at large, and society as a whole. JD Digits, formerly known as JD Finance when it was established in October 2013, was comprehensively upgraded in November 2018. In addition to boosting its strong fintech capabilities, JD Digits also targets 4 other sectors including urban computing, agriculture, campus services, and digital marketing. The company leverages cutting-edge technologies including data technology, AI, and IoT to empower its private sector and public sector clients with innovative solutions. Technology is at the heart of JD.com's corporate strategy. The company already has the most in-depth and wide-ranging applications in artificial intelligence. In addition, JD.com has the most comprehensive, high-quality big data in the e-commerce industry and actively leverages this resource to drive its business and better enable its partners and suppliers. JD.com's cutting-edge smart supply chain technology effectively improves the e-commerce industry's operational efficiency on both system and infrastructure levels. 5G and the application of Internet of Things enables consumers to enjoy smart living and an unprecedented level of convenience. It also enables further development of advanced technologies such as driverless cars, drones, unmanned warehouses, and autonomous delivery vehicles. JD.com also plays an integral role in the development of smart cities. By utilizing a wealth of data combined with analytical models, the company provides smart solutions for urban planning and transport systems management. JD Cloud underscores the company's openness and empowerment strategy. The platform provides a wealth of core technologies, solutions, and services to its partners, helping to drive the growth of the retail industry. Driven by its vision of boundaryless retail, enabling consumers to buy whatever they want, whenever and wherever they want it, JD has transformed from retailer to retail infrastructure provider. JD will continue to develop and leverage its capabilities industries in China and across the globe.
Okay, let's back to a brand protection section. JD, first is our attitude and strategy. JD has maintained a zero tolerance attitude toward counterfeit. If we find any seller engaging in counterfeit business, we will shut down their online store and put them in blacklist and never cooperate with them. Our protection strategy is prevention first, and the right action as a supplement. We hope to control the risk of counterfeit from the source. Thus, we do a lot of pre-work, such like a qualification check and background investigation. And our working methods are to use professional team, technology-driven, and cooperation. We have an exclusive R&D team composed of more than 30 people to establish a model and build system, provide technical support for our anti-counterfeiting work. And the first is our preventive mechanism. When the seller applies for admission, we will compare the information of an applicant with the information in our blacklist to see if the applicant have any bad report before. You will find the applicant engaging in counterfeit business on JD.com before. We will in a relationship between applicants. We will mark the applicants and put them in monitoring center for continuous monitoring and management. When the applicant passes the information verification, we will check his qualification as well as his background investigation. If we find the qualification of applicants does not meet the requirements or the documents are false, we will reject the application. Before the applicants are stationed, we will also educate the applicant to inform them of JD zero tolerance attitude toward counterfeit and the possible daily supervision measures. And the second, preventive and controlling is a shelf link. Before the products are put on shelves, besides the qualification need to pass the audit, we also need to be filtered by our risk assessment model. When we found some products with high risk through our model, we will inject these products. When we find some products with middle risk, we will require the seller use JD's warehouse and distribution system. In this way, the products of the seller can be sold and stored under the supervision of JD.com. At the same time, we also require sellers to improve their quality guarantee fund. This means to increase the illegal cost of selling counterfeit as to eliminate their illegal activities. We also have daily supervision measures. The test purchase cooperation is one of the main measures. First, we will capture the high risk of target, our products with our Tianjian system, and then we conduct test purchase to the products with high risk and send them to the right owner for identification. When if the symbol identified as counterfeit, we will transfer the lead to Security Investigation Department for developing more for evaluating whether the subject was in offline investigation or red action. If right owners think the subject may be a big fish and decide to conduct offline investigation and red action, we will provide information and law enforcement source. Moreover, if a right owner decides not to conduct an offline investigation, we will shut down the store. Second, I will introduce how we use technology to protect brands on JD platform. With the development of the internet and the e-commerce industry, more and more attention has been paid to protection of digital assets of right owners. Right owners often face difficulties and pain points, such as high cost and low efficiency of safeguarding rights when their original visual content, such as the product's display pictures and video, is stolen. Qingzhou platform can provide one-stop service to confirm rights and safeguard rights. The right owner can certify the electronic data, such as the characteristic information of original works, the release information, and the ownership information of a right on Qingzhou platform. At the same time, the relevant information will be synchronized to the authoritative institutions, such as the Notary Office of the Court, the Judicial Appraisal Center, and the Intellectual Property Office in the Alliance chain. The information is guaranteed by blockchain to ensure the originality and authenticity and the traceability of data, which provides a strong support for confirmation, witness, transaction, collection evidence of infringement, and the protection of our original intellectual property rights. We also use the blockchain tech for anti-counterfeiting. We developed a smart chain platform to monitor the whole chain from products being produced to being delivered to the terminal customer. Currently, it is mainly used on agriculture products, luxury products, mommy and baby products, and so on. As mentioned just now, Tianjian is our brand protection and risk control system independently developed by us. It consists of 6 centers and many advanced technology. And Tianjian's positioning is intelligent products. And we have committed to the application of AI technology. Here I give 4 examples of deep application. First is semantic analysis. Simply speaking, it is through emotional analysis of product reviews and customer complaints to intelligently identify risky products. At present, the recognition accuracy of our NLP algorithm model reached 99%. And the second is the image recognition. The image recognition technology is used to analyze the product's pictures and the pictures uploaded by customer as to quickly locate the risk products. We take some infringement picture compliant by right owner as a reference, compare the pictures according to the whole platform, mark the similar picture font, and deal with corresponding products link. We also apply OCR technology to the qualification audit of the seller so as to strictly control the entry threshold of seller. It can be said that application of image recognition technology has greatly improved our efficiency. Third is the product's DNA. The core of this technology is to digitize product for easy identification and monitoring. Just as user has user portraits, we also establish multi-dimensional products, digitize and molecularize the information, make the information granularity as small as possible, and improve accuracy of the information through data detection of abnormal points are found and follow up in time. Fourth is machine learning. We will regularly feedback the identification counterfeit by itself and sensitivity of the system to find counterfeit. As our appearance and technology continue to improve, our opponents, the counterfeit sellers, anti-investigation appearance and the technology are also constantly improving. Recently, we found that some counterfeit sellers has created their own risk control system. The system can mark the buyer through the way the buyer enters the store, the time of browsing, and other dimensions to see whether he is a normal customer or mystery buyer. This has brought a great challenge and difficulties to our test purchasing work. Then we develop a test purchase guide. Way to enter the store, the time and so on, in order to avoid being identified by the customer, by the seller. Moreover, we find some counterfeit seller will choose to send genuine products or counterfeit according to a receiving address, considering the low awareness of a customer right protection in the third and fourth tier cities. When the receiving address is the third and fourth tier cities, the seller will choose to send a counterfeit. On the contrary, when the receiving address in first tier cities, the seller will send genuine products. Therefore, we keep more than 300 test purchase accounts all the year round, and the receiving address covers more than 30 cities, and 80% of which are third and fourth tier cities. We regularly use data and technology to check our test purchase account to see if there is any risk of exposure. And the central picture show our tool for analyzing information, the Hawk Eye system. The system is a combination of law enforcement research and judgment ideas and JD's big data resource to create can append the single information and output effective information to right honor and law enforcement for offline investigation and right action. As we know, third is cooperation. As we know, counterfeit is a social problem and requires multi-parties collaboration. Thus, we want to unite all the resources that can be used to fight against counterfeit. So far, we have actively established cooperation with more than 1,300 brands, have channels of communication with law enforcement agencies at all levels, and maintain close interaction with relevant industry associations, such like CBBC and QBBC. Finally, is our channels of contact. If you have any counterfeit problem on JD.com or you are interested in our test purchasing cooperation program, you can send an email to our dajia@jd.com and or just call our hotline number. And if you encounter other IP infringement, please feel compliant to our IPR platform. And next, I will invite my colleague from Yolanda from Business Development Department.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Yolanda Ying, and I'm the BD Manager of JD Worldwide. Today, my presentation is about the cross-border retail solutions offered by JD Worldwide, the gateway for international brands to reach the Chinese market. As mentioned in the video, JD ranks the 102nd on the 2020 Fortune 500 list, marking the 5th consecutive year on the list as the largest retail and internet service company in China. We have been growing stably over the last decade. At the moment, JD has over 270,000 merchants and more than 417.4 million active users. We have established strategic partnership with Tencent, Walmart, and Google. One of the most impressive characteristics of JD is its unparalleled speed, and all thanks to the technology behind the system. JD is the largest e-commerce logistics infrastructure in China, covering more than 99% of the country's population, and we have achieved rates of approximately 90% of the orders being delivered on the same or the next day. JD is developing cutting-edge technology solutions that and now it is also opening its technology areas and other industries as part of its retail as a service strategy. JD Worldwide plays a key role in JD's strategic route to internationalization, dedicated to providing Chinese consumers with products from overseas. Launched in April 2015, JD Worldwide has become a leading cross-border e-commerce platform in China. Since our opening in 2015, the platform has attracted over 2,500 high-quality overseas merchants and more than 20,000 brands. We offer 10 million SKUs from over 100 countries and regions to our customers. With enormous growth in Chinese consumers' spending power, high-quality products made overseas are becoming more popular, and they have been consumer favorites. Specialized regulatory policies more. simplify supply chain requirements and policies, reduce the cost of entering the Chinese markets. Thanks to all the positive background mentioned above, Chinese consumers have been embracing the cross-border e-commerce. Both the transaction scale and the number of users have been growing tremendously. There are two ways for import trading, the traditional form and the cross-border e-commerce. In comparison with the traditional importing, doing business via cross-border e-commerce comes from various advantages. The brand does not have to be registered necessarily in China mainland because we accept trademark registered legally in its own country. And then the taxes are also reduced. For example, there is no tariff and the other taxes are also discounted. We have variable categories for consumers to choose from. So we welcome merchants and products from all of these categories. Maternal products and infant products, beauty, fashion, home appliances, car accessories, food and beverage, personal care, and also digital products. There are two main ways of collaborating with JD.com. We have direct purchase form and the marketplace form. The former one consists in JD sourcing products directly from suppliers and then selling them directly to customers, and is mainly applied to well-established, reputable brands with operations already in China. The second mode is a marketplace. In this case, the brands retain ownership of their inventory and are responsible for the operation and also the sales performance. It is applied to all the brands legally registered in its own country. And we also offer different store types like brand flagship store, retail flagship store, and franchise store. JD Logistics supports the merchants and brands on JD worldwide by providing two business modes. The first is import bonded warehouse mode, and the second one is overseas direct delivery service mode. Later, my colleague will give more detailed explanation of these two modes of JD Logistics. We understand that for new brands to enter the Chinese market, there are several pain points that should be conquered. For example, the difficulty in operation, in marketing, in understand Chinese consumers, and also the lack of data. So to help new brands understand better the Chinese market and to help them with their operation, we have established the JD Worldwide Service Union. We can offer one-stop service of cross-border e-commerce solutions for overseas brands. This mode, the brands, first of all, needs to present all the materials, all the qualifications, and then the JD Worldwide Service Union will take care of the online registration and then the online operation. Different kinds of services will be offered like brand consulting, operation plan, data analysis, and also marketing and advertising. The data is essential to the operation. Below, I will give a brief explanation of the consumer portrait of JD Worldwide for all of you to understand better our platform. We have more female consumers than male consumers. The female ones play a leading role, accounting for more than 55%. The purchase frequency of female consumers is also larger, is nearly twice as much as that of the males, presenting a trend of rapid growth. The consumers between 26 and 35 years of age account for more than 60% and with strong consumption power. From 2018, the generation after 90s account for nearly half of the consumers, contributing nearly 1/4 of the sum of the consumption of the platform. And our consumers are mainly from the senior intellectual group, of first-tier cities. 98% have senior high school background or above. On this page, we can see some insights under the pandemic. On the left side, we can see the top categories, the most searched ones on the platform during the first half year of 2020. So the most searched ones are skincare, healthcare, maternal products, personal care, and gifts. On the right hand, we can see the categories which have gained most growth during the pandemic. For example, home furniture material, healthcare, household cleaning, pet supply, and daily household items. We can also see the top 10 countries of sales amount during the pandemic. Customers prefer products from the following top countries: USA, Japan, Australia, Korea, France, Germany, New Zealand, Italy, Netherlands, and the UK. And on the right, we can see the table of the orders, top orders and top products of JD Health under the COVID-19. JD Worldwide offers shopping festivals throughout the whole year. And there are several special dates that other merchants on the platform should pay attention to. The first one is the 18th of June. It is the birthday of JD. So we have JD Anniversary Festival. And also Double 11, which is also known as the Single Day in China. We can see some examples of our partners from around the world on this page. And we are looking forward to adding your logo very soon to this page. So this is my presentation. I would like to invite my colleague, Mr. Jiang, to give a brief introduction of JD Logistics.
Good evening, I'm Jerry. My Chinese name is Jiang Lijie, and now I will introduce my Jingdong International Logistics. This one is Jingdong Logistics. Jingdong International Logistics mission is to reduce the logistics cost, and our vision is to be a trusted partner for global supply chain, infrastructure, and services. As you know, we started the logistics from 2007 with 13 years developed. We are not only provide logistics service for our platform, but also to be an open logistic platform. And now I will introduce the international logistic product map. As you know, we can provide the international transportation and the cross-border import service. Jingdong International Logistics have over 1,000 logistics products for our clients. Our products include the B2B and B2B2C and B2C service for our clients. We cooperate airlines with and Maskilan, so that we can secure the step service for our client. This page is our brand partners, such as Walmart and Swiss and HIP. They are our clients. We also have the global transportation network and have the best air and sea service for our client. We can provide efficient operation and promised capacity. As you know, this year is very special. So we opened the charter service from Europe to China. We have 6 flights per week. And also we can get enough space from the musky lines every month. Also we have the PC warehouse. We can provide goods collection, checking, and batch processing. Except the transportation service, we can also provide insurance service. If the goods damage, we can provide quick insurance service. Except the B2B service, and we can also provide cross-border import solution, includes the B2C and B2B2C service. Regarding B2C, we can collect the order at overseas warehouse and send it directly to China via air service. After port declaration, then deliver the package to the customer through the Jingdong Express. Till now, we had opened B2C service over 10 countries. B2C strength is domestic customer can directly buy the overseas newest product. The other one is B2B2C. We can collect the shipment at overseas in one lot, then ship it to Jingdong bound warehouse in domestic via sea and air service. The domestic customer can place an order from Jingdong platform. We send it to China customer for declaration. After that, deliver it to the customers through Jingdong Express. All this process will be finished within 48 to 72 hours. The strength is can save logistic costs for partner, and the customer can get the good in short time. Till now, through the B2C and B2B2C solution, we provide service to Walmart and MWays, etc. This one is our partner, and such as the bond stocks, B2B2C. All information is about the international logistics. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentations from speakers from JD.com. IPR protection is embedded in every single part of the e-commerce value chain, and it's very important to know how JD.com has been protecting IP rights through their technology and also their all-rounded retail solutions, including the logistics. In the Q&A session, we'll first start with questions that collected through the event registration. And I have typed all those questions to the chat box. I trust the panelists could see all of them. So first start with a few questions to speakers from JD.com. The first two are relatively straightforward. The first one is, can we use photos from our official flagship store to file a copyright complaint? Maybe Mr. Wudi can address that question, or your colleagues from IPR infringement department.
Okay, I will invite our Entitled Property Director Wang Jue to answer the non-counterfeit IP infringement. Okay.
Thank you. Welcome. Maybe I can repeat the question. So the question is, can we use photos from our official flagship store to file a copyright complaint?
Actually, the flagship store is not operated directly by the IPR owner. So the right owner of the photos are not the same. So for better protecting the IP owner's right, our platform requires to examine the documents that could prove that the claim is filed by the right party. So I think the examining procedure is really necessary. And as far as we know, we learned that the other platform requires much more strict documents, not only the photos, but also about the first releasing documents to prove the right. I think the right owner maybe provide the original photos maybe better.
Noted. Thank you, Wang Zhou, for the answer. Second question is about counterfeit. Maybe Mr. Wu, you can address it. The question is, will JD.com use unreasonable price as an indicator to proactively monitor counterfeit products?
Okay. In most cases, we think that if the seller sells a product at an unreasonable price, the risk of a counterfeit is very high. But sometimes we find some sellers sell the products at a very low price just to attend the attention of a customer. So maybe we should look what the kind of product it said and the motive of the seller. Yeah, we take the price as an important factor when we find the counterfeit.
Thank you, Li. Then there's another question related to parallel import. The example he used is they found an overseas JD store based in Hong Kong, which is selling its speakers of Danish brand to mainland China. However, the merchant itself is not the authorized agent of the brand in China. So they were asking whether this will cause any issue. They have contacted relevant departments of JD.com, but have not yet received an answer. I'm not sure if they are contacting correct department. Maybe you can explain whether your department is the right one to reach out to, and whether you have an explanation or clarification around parallel import questions.
In our opinion, I think the parallel importing issue is not actually regarding about the trademark infringement. And I think, but I don't know about this this letter. Maybe we did not receive that. You can send us an email via the IPR help@jd.com and provide us the details about this case, and we can give you the feedback.
Thank you, Andre. No problem. We will send the email address to the contact who asked this question. And now let's get back to the questions that has been left in the chat box. The first question is addressing Matias. The question is, they want to know more about the blockchain for saving evidence you've mentioned in the enforcement tips. Matias, can you elaborate more on this tip, and also if there are any practical cases that you can share with her?
Yes, it's very simple how blockchain can be used to collect evidence. When it is possible to download all the information about the website, including what is being offered, under which conditions, and in exactly what terms. Everything, including photos, videos, whatever was uploaded into the website, can be downloaded, included in a node. I don't know if you know how blockchain works, but actually it is created a chain based of different nodes. Each one of these nodes overcomes the previous one, so it cannot be changed in the future without creating a new node and changing all the structure. So when all this information is uploaded in one of the nodes, and the node is uploaded into the chain, it cannot be modified, creating a timestamp and a proof of all this content. There are companies offering this type of services that they directly download all the website, put it in the blockchain, and give you a final document that can be uploaded as a method of evidence. What they basically do is creating, again, a document with all the information that was online, with a timestamp that it's being used as evidence. Internet courts, in the case of China, they're already accepting this type of evidence, so any kind of digital evidence in their cases, and it's totally common to see this type of procedures. I don't know if this answers the question. In case that they want to discuss more on any specific case, they can contact us, they can reach us in our email address, and we will be more than happy to discuss and explain further how to proceed or what could be the steps to follow.
Thank you, Matias, for your further explanation. The next question is addressing colleagues from JD.com. It is about the what are the information will be going to the blacklist database based on the context experience that it seems very easy for the online seller of counterfeit products to reopen a new store. And the related question is also about the repeating infringement sellers. For example, they mentioned that some sellers will remove the trademark from the title once being enforced based on the trademark abuse. However, after several weeks, they will reuse the trademark unauthorized to promote their own products with the same URL. So how JD.com is addressing those issues and prevent those situations from happening again?
Okay, let me answer the first question. Sorry for I can't tell what the information will be recorded in our black database, because we don't want to the counterfeit seller know what information will record by our system. And I could say if the seller has been found engaging in counterfeit business before on JD platform, we can through the connection and many information to know they are the bad seller and reject them to open store on JD platform.
Thank you, Mr. Woody. There is another question related to the procedure. What is the official process to report listing for removal? Yeah, maybe you can elaborate on the notice and takedown process of the JD.com IPR protection platform.
Yes, we have the online IPR complaint platform. For the Chinese version is ipr.jd.com, and for the English version, for the overseas users, you can use enipr.jd.com.
Thank you, Wang. We might collect all those email addresses and also the links to your website after the meeting and share it with all attendees for this webinar.
Thank you.
Yeah, there is another question related to how you close the loop between online verification and also physical product verification.
Sorry, we don't understand the question very well.
The question came from Wincy Chen. Maybe you can elaborate more on the question. What is the exact request here, and maybe you can provide more details for them to address the question. And in the meantime, we can address a question from Rachel Jones, who is asking, when will the reporting tool be back, and can we access it outside China, for example, from UK without VPN? It seems that currently this reporting tool is not working for them.
Because our English version complaint platform is based on the Joybuy platform, so this platform is now upgrading because the complying with the GDPR standards. So it might be can be expected to completed during this December or next January.
Thank you. So related to the previous question about how to close the loop between online verification and physical product verification, basically Wincy Chen is asking how to ensure that the product presented or marketed online is indeed the product shipped to the end consumer, how to make that case linked, and how you can guarantee the online presented version is one being shipped. So that was the question.
As mentioned before, JD holds zero tolerance attitude toward counterfeit seller. If we find the seller engaging in counterfeit, we will shut down their online store. Thus, it needs us to fix the evidence very firmly. So all our test purchases are notarized by the 美亚百科 online 线上公众
notarization office.
And we record by a special app. It can assure the product shipped by the seller and make sure the right owner identified is the same with the seller. So yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I trust that, they're just asking more information about the test buy system that you are operating right now. And for those type of questions, we can also help those attendees to address based on our JD.com IPR protection introduction toolkits, which is also under our collaboration platform that we assist UK businesses to better understand how those different IP protection platform is across those different e-commerce platforms, and also what are the new and different pilot programs that are running. I don't see any new questions coming in, and maybe we can close this Q&A session at this moment. And if there are any further questions related to JD.com's IP protection system and also to China IPR SME Helpdesk, you can also leave the questions on the last page. We have our WeChat account and also our contact details. Feel free to reach out to us anytime as you need. Oh, sorry, there is a new question coming in. I think it is suggested to register the company logo as trademark as well as copyright. What is the risk if you don't register the company logo as copyright? Maybe Ms. Wang Zhe can address this question, or Matthias, do you want to address this question?
Yes, I mean, we normally advise companies to register trademarks as copyright as well, because we have seen cases in which e-commerce platform, they request certain level of certificate, any kind of certification that works as a proof that the company has some IP rights. So when the trademark is already registered and a bad faith seller is trying to do a bad faith registration of the trademark, they cannot proceed, because when it's analyzed by the China's National Intellectual Property Office, the precedent pops up. So in order to overcome this, what they do is doing a copyright registration that has no checking. You only present the document and eventually it will be approved. And they show it and they use it as a method of proof, and in order to show that they have these intellectual property rights. Since taking down one bad faith registration of copyright can take several years, and it's really difficult because it involves a lawsuit, you have to hire a lawyer, so it's very expensive for SMEs. It is advisable to directly having this registration in the Copyright Office that is considerably cheap, use it in the internet courts for copyright infringement, and this method, in less than a month, any infringement can be taken down, and with very few, or at least considerably fewer costs than if you don't have the registration. Because if you don't have it, or if you have it after with a posterior date, then in the case you will have less chances to succeed.
Thank you very much, Matthias. For today's webinar, we will closing in 15 minutes, but please, you can contact us through our contact details shared on the screen. We also left the WeChat account, which gives you updates of future events, as well as different contents that we're offering in terms of IP services introduction, and also the other collaborating opportunities with us. Please stay tuned for our future events, and we look forward to having you again in the future IP webinars. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.